Why is somatic breathing so profound? Because when you breathe somatically, we do a yoga breath, and you do the belly, the rib cage, the heart, and it's sort of like that 3-part breath. It's quite a big movement of muscle, like it's a big movement. When we do breath work, it's devoid of the movement. The body will move in different ways, but it's not as directed, right? The breath is taking over. When you do somatic breathing, you follow the breath with such acute awareness, and you follow it into the fascia, you follow it into the muscle, and the movements can be teeny tiny, yet they're kind of, they go into these places of contraction and constriction in the body. And you'll notice when you do a somatic breath, if you do this meditation, that you will get to a point in the breath where you can't breathe anymore because it feels like it's locked, right? If you take another breath into that place, that's where the trauma is. That extra breath goes into the fascia, into the energy field, and just through that breath, you are able to transform so much trapped energy, so much heavy energy. So it's very, very powerful. And really, this is where we want to be working, is rather than getting rid of something, we want to be transforming it. What does that mean? That means that we heal through our highest frequency, right? Because when we are in our absolute highest frequency, I'll give you an example of what I mean. If you're feeling good in your body, good in your emotions, good in your mind, how much easier is it for you to deal with things that arise in your day, right? Whatever arises, whatever challenge comes to you, it's almost like you're like a ninja warrior, right? You're like, bring it on, When you're feeling good, you can take on pretty much anything, and it doesn't take you out. You could be sitting there with your friend who's got like going through the heaviest process ever, and you're like, yeah, tell me everything, let it out, because you're feeling in your highest frequency, so you don't take on any of that stuff. You're able to deal with that stuff. So healing through the highest frequency means, and this is, eventually how, when we work with the medicines, that we are aware and accepting and allowing all parts of ourselves to arrive and to be there, the deepest, darkest, shadowy bits, our fears, our doubts, our limitations, our judgments, our criticisms, they're all there. But rather than going into the story of them, of, oh my God, and it was this, and she did that, and this was so terrible, and I can't believe this happened, and I'm carrying this for my ancestors, and, and going into all of this stuff, when we train ourselves to be in our highest frequency, which is actually love, our purest frequency is love, and then we look at those things through that lens and through those eyes, those things, just through the light of our awareness, through being forgiven, through being allowed, through being embraced, through being seen, through being loved, they dissolve quickly, sometimes instantly, right? And it's layer by layer, right? Sometimes you get to the things on the top. I mean, I'm really blessed in the work that I do, because I have people, which I'm so, so grateful for, that will work with me for years. Like, a lot of you here I work with in ceremony. A lot of you here have been to Peru with me or been to this. So I get to see. So even if you're not seeing it in yourself, I get to see how incredibly far you come, as you just continue to work through this process, and not to think that it's ever going to be done, right? Not to be on the finish line racing to get somewhere, to some ideal. Because I can tell you that the great spiritual masters like Mooji and, Eckhart Tolle, it's not that they don't have stuff coming up. For sure they do. But it's their response to it. It's their non-reaction to it. It's their allowing of it, of everything that comes up. And ultimately, it's the remembering that you are not your story. You have your story. And your story is epic. It's like an epic saga, but it's not who you really are. It's not the truth of who you really are. It's not the truth of who you really are. right? You're much more than that, than your story. But still, we want to tend to these things as they arise. Why? Because those parts of ourselves that are arising, guess what it is? It's your inner child. It's the part of you that at some point in your life did not feel seen, did not feel heard, was not able or given the tools to transform, work with, process the experience or the emotion when it happened, right? And it happens consistently. Our parents, no matter how awesome they were or how well-meaning they were, for sure, there were times when you were a kid where you felt left out in the cold, where you felt like you were a burden, where you felt unsafe, you know, even if you had the most epic parents ever. And if you went through traumas as a child, then of course that's going to be compounded as well. So, you know, play with that perspective of I chose this. Not in a way of like, oh, berating yourself, you chose this. You know, how could you choose this? Because that's where self-forgiveness comes in, right? You chose it because your soul was excited to experience it, as weird as that might be, because it knew it was going to get you to where you always needed to be. You knew before you came, I believe, that you would forget, and you knew that you would have to go through all of these things to help you to remember. And you knew that there would come a point when you went, aha, now I remember. Oh my God, I wrote this script. And not only did I write the script, but I knew that I was going to get to the point where I remember so I can write a new one. I don't have to keep playing it out anymore. Now I get to choose. That's the flip of the switch from the victim to the creator, right? So, as I was sharing before, one of the things I think that we probably missed the most as human beings and when we were kids growing up is that we were never taught to feel. I'm not talking about emotions. We were taught how to be sad, how to be happy, how to cry, how to laugh, you know, how to feel depressed, how to feel good. You know, we had all of that. But what about the sensation? What about the sensation of where those emotions live and where those feelings live? Because feeling is sensation. It's a physical sensation in your body when you feel sad, right? Just close your eyes for a minute. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself held and supported by Pachamama. And I just want you to, and you're not calling anything in, it's not about being in heavy energy, but I just want you to call into your mind, your memory, a time where you felt really sad, maybe even depressed. Now I want you to go to your body and see where it sits in your body. Where do you feel it? And put your hand there and you've got it. Take a deep breath. Now, can you stay with that sensation without going into the story of why you felt sad? Just be with the sensation. Name it. Is it hot, sharp, heavy, dull? Ask the sensation to give you a shape and a colour. What do you see? You can just say it out loud wherever you are. Could be a green triangle, colour of healing. Could be a blue diamond, protection. Feeling the way that that shape permeates the sensation, that it's come to help and it's come to heal. Continue to breathe. Now breathe through your heart into the sensation. Amplify the shape. Breathe love through your heart into your sensation. Feel a sense of liberation, sense of ease coming. Ask the sensation, what does it want you to know? What do you need to learn? Notice if the sensation suddenly starts to become less intense. And I want you to ask the sensation, what's there now? Behind what it was. What's there now? Say it out loud. Breathe. Breathe through your heart. Breathe love. Breathe light into the sensation. Let out a big sigh. Maybe that shape and that color changes. And I want you to ask, and what's behind that? What's there now? Feel it getting lighter. Take another deep breath. Breathe in through your heart. Breathe in love. Breathe in light into the sensation. Maybe the shape has changed. Maybe it's become more luminous. Maybe it stays the same. Breathe out with a sigh and ask one more time, what's there now? What's there now? Maybe you're feeling it melting. Maybe you're feeling a tingling. Maybe you're feeling a release. Maybe there's a bit more to go, and that's okay too. Take another deep breath when you're ready, and a nice big sigh out, saying thank you to Pachamama, thank you to your guardians, thank you to the light. Opening your eyes. That is feel to heal. Not hard, not heavy, just took a few minutes of presence, willingness to simply witness what was there, to welcome and embrace your inner child, allow it to show you. So much wisdom you just received, so much powerful healing is in your hands. What you just did then is profound. You don't even know how profound that was, how many possibly lifetimes worth of trauma you just healed in that moment then. Right? Because every time there was an unprocessed emotion, an unprocessed time, wherever that you felt that sensation in your body is where it lodged itself, where it got stuck. So this is available to you all the time. And how beautiful, because it not only works on what has been, it also works on everything that you are picking up on in the day, and kind of instead of building up more, I'm thinking of like when you get, I don't know why I was thinking like water lime scale. In Australia we get this stuff that builds up on the pipes, it's like rather than letting it build up, you're tending to it from now on, right? So you're working, yes, to break up the calcium deposits of the past, but you're also giving yourself maintenance so that it doesn't build up again in the future. And then things become much easier. And then that way, the result of that is, stuff still comes, but you're going to move through it much faster than you have before. So continuing as we go through our path, our sacred path of service as healers, as facilitators throughout your life, this is what inner work is. It's tending to ourselves so that we can be in the best service to others, but also so that we can fill our cup, because you can't give what you don't have. Like, your cup's got to be full and overflowing, and then the giving becomes effortless.